خلاص يلا سكروا سكروا.
يلا سكروا.
مالنا مظبوط بس شو طلع معنا الخلاصة؟ بس هي الخلاصة. يلا صح. وكان على اساس انه بدأنا الاستي 07.
شو الاستاذ؟
هاي استاذ.
لا لاين جول بعد ما اشتغلت. مبلش الخرايط بس انا بعد ما عرفت. عن نارمان عرفت حكتني هلا هي اليوم قالت لي انه عم تشتغل بالثاني. وعايزه
ليه صباح الخير everyone عم تسمعوني؟
هاي استاذ.
Good morning everyone. Can we start? فينا نبلش؟ Are you ready? Okay. So once again, I'm going to say good morning. I can see 13 attending. Hopefully, صاروا 14. Hopefully, the other are going to join very soon. بس حبيت أسلم عليكم in the early morning, NPC students, and I wish you that you are all safe along your beloved parents. So stay home and take care. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, today's session will focus on actually the two mechanisms of specific immune response, how the humoral mediated and the cell mediated take. So to proceed with the next session, I will brief and review for those who were not able to attend last time this session, the mechanism from A to Z. What I mean from A to Z, يعني the summary for the whole immune response, which is specific in both issues, humoral mediated and cell mediated. If we pay attention here from number 1 to number 3, you will see that this monocyte, which was initially in blood, as it leaks out, it has become a macrophage. And this macrophage, by the moment it reaches the lymph node, it becomes an APC, an antigen presenting cell, because it has been able to recognize this antigen. And this antigen right now is being processed by this cell, and it expresses what do we call the MHC class 2, as well as the non-self peptide. So this non-self peptide along the MHC class 2 marker are actually the one that will be able to inform the T helper cell that this is your task. And what I mean by your task, and this is the one that should be eliminated and neutralized. So the T helper cell, with the help of its CD4, the TCR, which is called the CD4, that's why T helper cell is known as also T4 cell, is able to match it. And by the time they match, this one is activated, and then it becomes able to divide. And as it divides, we are right now reaching what we call clonal selection. So this particular type of T4 cell has been able to divide, to multiply, and this is why you see here in this row that the number of cells has increased. This increase in the number of cells is our aim. And this is what we are seeking nowadays for every patient who is exposed to coronavirus, is that by the moment we start producing immunity, we expect this duration of time so that these patients who are said to be corona positive to have more cells which are activated like T helper cell, but definitely this is going to take time. That's why if you are watching TV, definitely, and listening, most people are advised to stay at home for 14 days. Either 14 days, يعني هي incubation period, where people, whether they are symptomatic or asymptomatic, will take time to produce these T helper cells, which will be able in the future, very near future, to fight coronavirus or any other virus. So these cells right now become activated. You have right now two categories: memory T cells on the right part of the screen, which will be used for subsequent future infection. بينما the other category of cells, as I have said last time, for those who were not online, they are said to be interleukin secreting cells. And the type of interleukin, if you look at the color, they are not all of the same type, will enable every category of interleukin secreting cell either to stimulate BL to become a plasmocyte and to secrete antibodies, or to be activated to stimulate those TC killer cell that usually destroy infected cell, or to the extreme right of the left of the screen, where you can see a third category of interleukin. And these interleukin, as I'm شايفين هون, they can reactivate the non-specific immune response, which means that the specific, on one hand, doesn't only stimulate BL and TL, but also sends another message for the non-specific immune response in order to call for its help. So this is what do I mean by the integration between these task forces. The task forces, I mean BL and TL as specific, and as well as the macrophages from the non-specific part. So the collaboration of all these three together represent our task force in order to be able to destroy any possible infection or intruder in our body. Any questions so far? If you have any questions, please let me hear your questions so that I can answer it. If you have any questions, please. Bonjour, Jean-Marie.
Backstage.
Habibi, Fatima, any question? If you have any questions, I'm ready to answer, please. Okay. سمر عندك شي أسئلة؟ ستيفاني، علي. Good morning علي، صح النوم حبيبي. Wake up.
أستاذ فاطمة سألت سؤال.
Hey حبيبي, yes. I didn't hear you. Can you repeat your question?
كتبته على الشات.
Which question حبيبي? Can you say your question, please? Can you repeat it? I'm ready to answer your question. Unless you want to send it private on my mobile. شو بدك قل لي؟ No question. Sorry?
استاذ كنت عم بسأل عن the type of interleukin that secretes neutrophils و macrophages إذا هوليك IL-2 IL-4 شو بتكون هاي؟
This is a special category of interleukin which can be classified as إذا بدك cytokines. So IL-2 and IL-4 exclusively for BL and TL, but this category of interleukin is especially for reactivating the phagocytes, the neutrophils, the macrophages in order to stimulate the cooperation إذا بدك of the non-specific to help the specific. Clear? So nowadays بالنسبة لكورونا فيروس لما عم نيجي بنقول 14 days, so 14 days لأنه بهال 14 days this is a new intruder and our body doesn't have immunity for this intruder. So what happens is at the beginning the macrophages do their best to diagnose the coronavirus, but unfortunately they are unable to destroy it. Meanwhile, the macrophages, which will take around 7 to 8 days to recognize the intruder, will try to communicate with the BL and TL in order to reach what do we call immunity. So when we say quarantine for 14 days, this is on purpose. But unfortunately, not only Lebanese population, but worldwide population do not understand that immunity is a matter of time. So that's why if we guarantee that everyone is isolated from the other, we make sure that these interleukin will be able to stimulate in the future, very soon in future, inshallah, BL and TL, as well as the macrophages in order to fight COVID-19. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Welcome, mostly welcome. Okay, so the next part, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be discussing how these mechanisms take place. Brief revision, because as you know, our session is only 40 minutes, so I will try to proceed as much as I can. If you still remember that the structure of the IG, the antibody, is a Y-shaped protein. Hiya, good morning, Ruba, Aline. The one I can see, I'm saying good morning for everyone. Okay, so if by mistake I have forgotten somebody, don't please blame me. So this structure of IG is a Y-shaped protein where you can see the constant part and the variable part with the heavy and light chain. So this variable part is very significant because this is the whole story. The whole story begins here. What I mean by here, you can see in the first step, these antibodies can neutralize. When I say neutralize, I mean that they render these antigens neutral, as if they are not present. So if you pay attention here, toxins, okay, which are produced by pathogens, can infect our cells and cause this damage. So here comes the role of antibodies. Why? Because they act as a barrier by fixing on these toxins, and thus once they produce what do we call antigen immune complex, so our cells remain safe, and thus we have been able to neutralize these antigens, and this is how we can prevent ourselves from being infected. So here is the significant role of the antibodies, because with the help of these antibodies we are able to neutralize these antigens and prevent them from reaching our cells, and thus we are on this side very safe. Similar to this example, we can go back to RBCs. If you still remember this reaction, what did we call this reaction in class before we went to vacation, Ya Ali? That reaction شو اسمها? This reaction, when antibodies bind to RBCs, what did we call it? Any answer from anybody?
Agglutination.
برافو, good, excellent. هذا رامي اللي عم بيحكي اذا ماني غلطان ولا مين؟
صحيح رام.
Wow, your tone is very significant. This is Mr. Testosterone, eh? Okay, so excellent. This is agglutination, where you can see the antibodies binding to such RBCs, and in this mechanism of bridging, we are able to show the significant role of the binding site. So 12LS, keep in mind that the first mechanism by which antibodies can prevent destruction of cells is by what do we call neutralization. Clear? Also, we can neutralize viruses, not only bacteria. This virus itself, which is, by the way, الكل بيعرف إنه the virus is non-living. It is a structure that is anucleated. All what is meant by a virus, a protein coat and just genetic material. وهذا اللي عم بيعذبنا nowadays because we are unable to study the virus in details, although studies nowadays about COVID-19 are boosting very fast. So here you can see that the antibodies, they can fix on the virus itself, and by the moment they fix on the virus itself, they prevent this virus from fixing on your own cells. يعني let's suppose Jean-Marie or Lee Fatah Allah or Maria or myself, this is my host cell. Genetically, I am born with a receptor for this virus. I am born with a receptor for this virus. This receptor could be in my testicle as a male, or it could be in the ovaries of a certain female. So unfortunately, viruses can fix on these receptors. So where is the significant role of antibodies? Because these antibodies, the moment they surround these viruses, so we are no more enabling them to bind to the compatible site, because if you see here in red and this surface, they are 100% matching. So viruses are also neutralized, and this is in remark as a big thank to the antibodies. So the binding site of the antibody is very significant, not only in fixing on bacteria, but also viruses. So this is also another example of neutralizing viruses. We go right now to what we call opsonization. For those who have their books, they can see this part, which is called opsonization with Z. This opsonization is very easy to be understood because, as you see here, you have antibodies. And here in red, you can see antigen. It could be a red blood cell, and these are the markers, or it could be any other bacterium. These, what do we call epitopes. So in 2A, they bind. In 2B, as you see, we have bridging, which means that antibodies are cooperating all together in order to produce what do we call a mechanism of antibodies bridging. And right now, this bridging is almost done because we have been able to make sure that not only one antigen, but 4 antigens are cross-bridged, and in this sense, antibodies have done their job. But if you go to number 3, if you still remember, this is what we call a macrophage. ليه عم بقول macrophage؟ لأن if you go to number 4, What do we have right now here? Who can tell me what happens at this stage? Any reply? What happens here at this stage? What do we call this stage? Grade 12.
استاذ هذه كيلر كيس مدري شي هيك.
Sorry حبيبي.
هذه شيء قلت لنا اسمها كيلر كيس ولا ده شيء ثاني؟
No, this is not the killer kiss, but this mechanism. Haya, Samar, Ruba, what do we call this act when we...
phagocytosis أو لا؟
Somebody said it.
adhesion.
مش phagocytosis.
Excellent. مين قال phagocytosis؟
جاد طباشا.
Bonjour, Jad Habibi.
Bonjour.
So this is phagocytosis. So if you see right now, once again, عم نحاول نفرجيكم the cooperation, ladies and gentlemen, between the action of antibodies and the non-specific. معناتها those antigens which have been neutralized by antibodies, look, these antibodies themselves, on whom do they rely? They try to ask for the help of the phagocytes, يعني رجعنا لورا, to non-specific, in order to ask for such WBCs to engulf mean the antigen which is coated by antibodies. So the antigen itself, which we have made sure that is coated by antibodies, will be engulfed, and the whole phagocyte will swallow this antigen, which is right now coated by antibodies, and with the help of internal receptors, wholly in black, you can see right now that the WBC, the macrophage, will be able to digest whom the antigen which is coated by antibodies. So, Ya Ali, this is to prove that the specific immune response cannot get rid at all of what we call non-specific. This is how they match with each other. Non-specific will support the specific, but when the specific will ask for this help, somebody will ask for the help and the other will respond automatically. وهيدا إن شاء الله in the coming future will take place by the moment more people are infected with COVID-19, خاصة the huge population which are asymptomatic and even symptomatic, and they have been in quarantine. لأنه with 14 days, definitely you will be cured as long as you didn't show what do we call respiratory troubles or coughing sputum. طالما ما في sputum بلغم ما عندنا respiratory troubles in breathing, معناتها you are on the safe side. وهول تقريبا هن 97% of the infected population, لأنه only 3% are reaching this critical case. So COVID-19 is dangerous, بس كمان في شيء positive إنه with time we will beat it inshallah, and hopefully we see you very soon. The third technique by which antibodies can fight what do we call the antigen, you will see it here on the extreme right. Before we go to the summary, لأن السمري راح يفرجيني neutralization, agglutination, okay? And here we have right now what we call the complement cascade. When I say complement cascade, this is a very simple technique, Ya Ali, whereby the antibodies, the ones that have been able to bind to the non-self, stimulate series of proteins. Their names are very complicated and they are not required by 12 LS students who بياخدوهم actually at the level of biology major in university junior إجمالا. So concerning 12 LS, all what you have to remember that a series of proteins called complement, they are from C1 to around C10, and everyone will stimulate the other. In this chain, in this chain كيف بنلعب ايام تليفون كاسيه. So one will stimulate the other and the other will stimulate the other in order to reach a hole, which is to dig a hole into the infected cell and thus destroying our infected cell. So هيدا اللي اسمه complement cascade. So with the help of complement cascade أو neutralization أو حتى opsonization, like my ultimate goal is to destroy the cells. How this is possible? Either by phagocytosis وهيدي الopsonization, because here you can see the antigen is coated with antibodies, or by neutralization, or by complement cascade. And the final answer, Ya Ali, is simply having what we call cell lysis. Lysis يعني destruction of cells. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this part, we have been able to understand that this is how antibodies act, either by neutralizing the antigen, or by opsonizing the antigen, or by complement cascade. 3 techniques for one goal, which is to destroy the infected cell. I don't care for the way. My ultimate goal is to reach this goal. Any way, any possible option in my body is very significant. This is why your body is equipped with many tools. La samah Allah, if we had one tool and this tool failed, definitely our life will be in danger. But thanks to God, we have 1 option, 2 option, 3rd, 4th, and all of this is to say thank you God, because our aim is to keep humanity on this earth. As we have discussed a few minutes ago, how do infected cells, how do antibodies destroy cells? Right now, let's see how do TC kill infected cells. يعني جينا على الميكانيزم of cell-mediated immune response. وهون you will be very surprised by this technique, which is not complicated at all. رح نمشي from left to right, from 1 to 2 to 3. If I start from extreme left, you can see here the infected cell. لأنه definitely TC do not deal with the soluble antigens. They deal only with those cells which have been able to process the antigen. مثل ما اتفقنا, the virus comes in, so the cell integrates this virus, and this is what we call HLA class 1. مع مين هيدا شو اسمه هون in yellow? This one in yellow, what do we call it? This one in yellow, who can mention it? Any reply?
هقول non-self peptide.
Definitely, this is the non-self peptide. Very good. This is the non-self peptide, and therefore right now you have HLA class 1 with non-self peptide, and here the TC with its TCR. وهون عم يصير عندنا أي نوع من الريكوجنيشن. سمر, what was the name of this recognition? شو سميناها؟ Single or double or triple recognition? Double, yeah. ما حابة تسمعني صوتيك؟ Okay, never mind. Never mind. Don't feel shy. So this is what we call the double recognition, where the HLA class 1 and the TCR match with each other. ساعتها the TC that is activated can destroy the cell. How this is possible? By 2 means. First, by releasing what we call perforin. لأنه this cell is granulated. It is highly abundant with granules, and these granules will be able to dig a hole into the cell. And later comes the second part, which is apoptosis. هيدا خدوها بال11S مع الcancer, when special chemicals in blue called granzymes. هلا بعمل لهم summary that will be able to digest the whole cell. So perforin and the granzymes, two components مع بعضهم, will be able to make sure that the TC can kill this cell. This is why we call it the killer kiss. يعني this cell is kissing the other cell, and this is the first and the last kiss. والعود بسلامتك, that cell is actually destroyed. In summary, from left to right, in the human-mediated immune response, you can see that we have been able to do it at 3 levels, either by neutralizing the antigens, or by opsonization, or by complement cascade. أما in cell-mediated, 1, fixation of TK, killer cell, or TC, Jean-Marie, through the TCR, with the HLA class 1, with the non-cell peptide complex of the infected cell. هذا اللي حكيته a few minutes ago. Number 2, releasing perforin. Number 3, releasing granzymes, and thus we reach our destiny, our ultimate goal, which is the lysis of the infected cell. So this is going to be sent very soon when we send the animated and this session that will be recorded, inshallah. The most important part, وهيدا أكيد the ultimate dream for the human kind on earth nowadays, is to have what we call memory. Unfortunately, إذا بنحكي عن COVID-19 لأنه هلا this is the trend, COVID-19 is here. So all this time you've been exposed for the first time for something that is new, because you don't know it at all. معناتها you don't have prior information, so ما عندي لا non-specific ولا specific immunity. And these 14 days, شايفينهم? These 14 days or 16 days, more or less, will enable me to generate what we call the primary immune response. The first time I'm going to produce antibodies against this intruder, inshallah كان COVID-19 ولا any kind of antigen. This duration تعتقدوا is short or long? Is it short or long? Any reply? This duration of time, is it short or long?
Long.
أكيد long. شيء طبيعي, it's very long. And this is why during these 14 days شغلتين صاروا. Number 1, macrophages شرفوا وsaid good morning وتعرفوا على COVID-19. صار في عندي HLA class 1 مع HLA class 2 non-cell peptide. عملنا activation للتي هيلبر سيل، صارت APC، راحت على الليمف نود، عملت division، وصار في عندي definitely the activation of T helper cell، وعملنا stimulation maybe مش maybe أكيد for BL لأنه على y axis أنا عندي هون antibodies. So this is my first time I produce antibodies. These antibodies compared to the next one are small or do they represent a larger quantity? شو يا ربا؟ Do they represent small or larger quantity? لك الامبليتيود. هيا فاطمة، small ولا larger quantity؟ ما سمعت.
بالبرايمري؟
بالبرايمري yes.
Low quantity.
Excellent, low quantity. And therefore, with the time, اجا تاني مرة COVID-19 maybe next year أو بكرة بأوتن بnext September بnext September 2020 أو بال 2021. So what happens right now? Look at your response. This response, is it like the first one or faster?
Faster, Ustaz.
Bravo,
Faster.
faster. Faster. Is it stronger or weaker?
stronger.
Stronger. Equal amplitude. معناتها if you compare the primary exposure to the secondary exposure, the first time you are exposed to COVID-19 أو أي شيء تاني, you take more time to respond. The quantity of amplitude produced are very small, and the immunity against this virus is not long lasting. هيدا اللي احنا خايفين منه بعد ما نقطع COVID-19 اول stage, لانه in our body رح يكون في عندنا small quantity of antibodies for those patients who have been infected. بس إذا شرف COVID-19 in the same form without being mutated بعد 3, 4, 5 months, أهلا وسهلا. أنا رح أكون ناطره لأنه رح يكون عندي already antibodies I will respond quickly, fast, ورح أروح أعمل more amplified response. رح تكون duration تاعيته much more longer. So slow, fast, small amplitude, strong amplitude, short, long duration. To summarize this part, this is what happens. The memory is here because when the antigen is stimulating the T helper cell, those T helper cells start to divide, and the more they divide, لكن شو عندي, the more I have mean antibodies. To understand better, I will shift to the last slide يلي هي بتفرجيكم the primary response versus the secondary response. Like from left to right, the more you are exposed to the antigen, more memory, more plasmocyte. كل ما عملت more memory, you should be glad, because the more you have memory cells, the more you can have duration of immunity. The more you have plasmocytes, the more you have antibodies to fight. وهيدا اللي ناطرينه to happen in the coming few weeks, hopefully very few weeks. So القصة time, it's a matter of time. Primary response هيدا اللي عم يصير in the past 2 weeks and the coming 2 weeks, and with the time إن شاء الله نكون قطعنا هيدا stage. ساعتها بيصير في عنا another option with more memory cells as well as more memory cells. We can reach إن شاء الله June, and the whole Lebanese population, those who have been infected, صار عندهم immunity in some trend. ساعتها we can go back إن شاء الله to normal life. But meanwhile, my advice for you and for everyone who is listening, إنه take the maximum risk by preventing yourself from exposure, لأنه the 14 days can take us to flatten the curve. وهيدا اللي بدنا إياه نحن, with the help of every individual who is educated like you, like LPC students. I want to say thank you very much for your attendance today. Tomorrow, inshallah, we will proceed with the next session. In the coming few hours, I will be sending this you as a video, either by Google Classroom and definitely on the School of website. I want to say, have a nice day, stay safe, and God bless every one of you.
ميرسي يا أستاذ.
Any questions?
Thank you, Ustaz.
Any question?
أستاذ عندي سؤال.
نزل اللايف او حتنزل الفيديو غير؟
لا روح نزل فيديو كامل. رح نزل السيشن كله.
لايف او انه فيديو انت صورته؟
No. I'm going to upload the video session. The video session, all of which. The PowerPoint as well as my voice. منيح هيك؟
اوكي ثانك يو.
I will do my best to help you. برجع بعيد. No matter we are remote, okay, I'm with you. No matter we are isolated, our work will not be captivated. Okay, try to be positive, and it's a matter of time to meet again and to see you soon. Very soon, inshallah. Very soon. احنا doing our best to be next to you and next to every one of you. I will be with you at any time, day and night.
ليش مش كل الأساتذة بيعملوا مثلك يا أستاذ؟
And I'm doing my job. Hopefully all teachers will do it. All are preparing their work. Enjoy your day. حبيباتي. Take care. Enjoy your day. Let's be positive. I'm doing my part as your classroom advisor and your biology teacher. Hopefully all will be doing a great job. Trust me. Any question, please don't be hesitate. You can dial my phone, WhatsApp. رجعي روبا حطيني بشي جروب معكم. I'm ready to answer you at any time. Anytime.
Okay.
You are my priority. انتوا بتعرفوا هالشي. God bless you. Enjoy your day. بس المهم نرجع السيشن وهلا in the coming short time I will be sending this video. Take care. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye, Ustaz.
Bye.
Nice, yes.